Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Denise, and on this channel I talk all about minimalism and intentional living. For today's video, I thought it would be fun to share 25 goals I have for 2025. I don't know about y'all, but the new year gets me really excited. I'm really big on goals and setting resolutions. However, this time around, I think I am trying to be more intentional in setting more realistic goals and resolutions instead of overburdening myself and trying to do too much, which I think we've all done in the past, and hopefully we have learned from that. But this year, I want to share 25 goals that I think are pretty realistic for me. So hopefully this will inspire some of you to maybe make a similar goal or just be inspired. You can pick and choose, customize it to your preferences, or if you have some goals that I did not mention on this list, feel free to let me know. But yeah, currently it is January 1st, so officially New Year's Day. Feeling really good, so let's get into it. So I'm going to be looking at my phone just because I have my list here, because I think it's kind of hard to actually memorize 25 things. So yeah, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking down at the list on my phone. Okay, so the first goal that I have is to lift weights 2 to 3 times per week. I know for some of y'all, 2 to 3 times is like nothing. That's easy peasy. If you're someone that works out consistently, I know a lot of people like something more normal-ish is probably like 4 to 5 times a week. For myself, I am generally exhausted at the end of the day because I do work full-time, and I also have a lot of things that I'm juggling at the moment. So, well, not a lot of things, but I'm someone that gets easily overwhelmed. So I think for myself personally, 2 to 3 times a week is really solid. I've actually recently started doing this towards the end of 2024. Minimum 2 to 3 times per week really helps make a difference, even if it's for 30 minutes. But typically my workouts tend to run between 30 minutes to an hour. My mentality is just that something is better than nothing. I'm also going to be focusing on doing just lighter weights, something that feels doable to me, just because I do have a lot of joint and back pain. So I'm not going to push myself or go too crazy. I would just like to maintain the muscles that I currently have and just move my body more, especially because I do sit at a desk all day. So I think lifting weights 2 to 3 times per week is really going to make a difference in my health. So that's the goal. And the second goal I have is to read at least 1 book per month. I've mentioned in previous videos that I recently have gotten a little bit more into reading. So I think it would just be fun to set a goal of reading 1 book per month, which again, for some of you that like to read, that's probably nothing. But for me, someone who actually never really used to read at all, 1 book per month is going to be a lot more than I have read in the past. So yeah, 1 book per month in 2025, I think it's totally doable, and I actually look forward to it. And number 3 is to bake bread at home rather than buying bread at the grocery store. Baking bread at home is something that I have done on and off throughout the past couple years. It's actually not hard at all. I have a very simple like sour bread loaf recipe that I make, and it's actually pretty simple. It just takes time and planning ahead to make it, but I think if I can consistently start making it again on a weekly basis, it's really going to help me avoid buying bread at the store and just having simple homemade baked bread at home, which both my husband and I prefer to store-bought bread. And number 4 is actually to successfully complete my no-buy year for 2025 for this year. In my previous video, I shared all about my low buy year. Not a no buy, a low buy. So yeah, my goal is to just successfully complete a low buy year and stick to the rules I previously mentioned and talked about in the last video. Number 5 is to be in bed by 10 more often than not. Obviously, there's going to be some nights where it's out of my control, or just some random nights where, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm going to have to be up past 10. But for the most part, I just want to create a routine where I'm actually in bed, ready to go to sleep by 10. I am someone that has trouble sleeping, so I really just want to practice making sure I start getting ready for bed like around 9:30, just so I can actually be in bed by 10, versus lately I have been starting to get ready for bed at 10, and then I'm not in bed until 10:30, falling asleep by 11. So really just want to get on top of that because sleep is so important. Number 6 is to have more people over, like for lunch or dinner, and just hosting more. This is something that I have started doing a little bit more in 2024. As an introvert, it can be kind of difficult, but I really just want to start building more relationships, and I think a great way to do that is to start inviting people over. So yes, in 2025, I just want to continue doing that more than I did this year. Number 7 is to create a realistic cleaning schedule, something where I'm just like basically dividing up chores by day, and also just splitting chores with my husband, just because a lot of times life just gets crazy and the cleaning schedule just goes out the window. This is something that we did a couple years ago, and then we just kind of forgot about it. So this year I really want to work on having like a consistent and realistic cleaning schedule, all while also just being flexible and realistic with myself and not getting too stressed when it actually doesn't happen, if that makes sense. But yeah, a cleaning schedule would be nice. Number 8 is to just create and try new fun recipes. I'm someone that loves baking, loves cooking, and I just want to lean into that more this year. I kind of have a few favorite recipes that I keep on rotation just to make things simple, but I think this year I really want to try different things and just cook more fun recipes. Number 9 is to make sure I'm stretching each night before bed, even if it's for 5 minutes, preferably maybe a little bit more, but just to make sure I'm stretching daily, like if it's not at night, maybe in the morning, because I've noticed I really kind of let that go and I'm not as flexible as I used to be. So I really want to work on just getting some stretches in, like at night before bed. That's probably the most realistic thing for me. I just want to work on doing that every single night in order to work up my flexibility again, and just, yeah, I'm getting older. I need to make sure I'm moving my body more, and any little way I can get it in, I'm going to try to do that. And number 10 is to use up my makeup products before purchasing more. This kind of goes into like my whole low buy year, but also I just want to be really intentional and make sure that I'm actually trying to use my products, because at this moment I really love all the products that I have. So I just want to make sure I'm like evenly using them, actually using them up instead of like letting them expire. Yeah, I just want to use up what I have. And number 11 is to go on more hikes. I am someone that actually loves being outside. I love going on walks, hikes. I feel like last year I really didn't go on any hikes, maybe 1 or 2, but I honestly can't remember. And I just love hiking, and I'm sad that I didn't make time to do it this last year. My husband and I had very different like work schedules in 2024. This year I feel like we're gonna have more days off together, so I really just want to be intentional about using those days when it's like decent weather outside to maybe go on a hike. Just try to fit that in more this year and enjoy the outdoors, because that is something that really recharges me and I think is going to be really beneficial for my mental health and physical health. And number 12 is to wear my retainer more consistently. Last year I really hardly ever wore my retainer. This year I actually got like those solution tablets to be able to keep it clean and sanitized. I've actually been wearing it more because it doesn't gross me out as much as it used to now that I feel that it's more clean, I guess. But yeah, I just want to wear it more. My teeth have shifted a little bit after braces, so I just want to prevent them from shifting more, because I hated wearing adult braces and I paid money for those braces, so I really just want to make sure that I take care of my teeth in that way, just to be able to maintain my somewhat straight teeth, I guess. And number 13 is to schedule doctor and dentist or dental office visits as needed. I feel like I really slacked in this last year. I really just need to take advantage of my health insurance and actually go to the dentist, twice a year. I did go once last year, but I'm really due for another checkup and cleaning. And number 14 is to continue consistently posting on YouTube. I really enjoy making videos and I want to continue posting consistently. I feel like last year I did pretty good. I'm also not going to like push or force myself to create content when I'm really tired or when I really don't feel like it, because I feel like that's kind of counterproductive and I don't want like the joy and fun to be taken out of it. But at the same time, I just want to keep it going because yeah, it's just been really fun creating content and posting on here and just sharing about minimalism and things that I love. So I want to continue to do that. Number 15 is to take more photos of just life and ordinary moments. I feel like I'm someone that's pretty terrible at taking photos. So I just want to make sure I'm more intentional about that, taking photos on certain milestones like birthdays, Christmas, or even just like ordinary outings or just even moments of joy that I find, like drinking my tea, drinking my coffee, photos of nature outside, flowers, the sky when it looks pretty, I don't know. But I just want to take more photos in 2025. And number 16 is to eat more nutritious meals. I really want to focus on eating healthier this year. In 2024, I'm not gonna lie, I did eat a lot of junk. Yeah, I just want to prioritize eating more nutrition-packed meals and snacks, and also try to eat a little bit more just because I am someone that typically forgets to eat if I'm busy or preoccupied with something. So yeah, I really want to prioritize eating more nutritious meals, food, snacks in general in 2025. And number 17 goes right along with that, and that is to meal prep more. So recently we have been meal prepping our breakfast. We just make this large like egg casserole, and that's been really helpful. I am someone that can't go without eating breakfast, so I think it would be really helpful to do this with like some lunch and dinners as well, and maybe some snacks, maybe just like simple meals or things that can be quickly put together. Honestly, I don't know what that's gonna look like or what these meals are going to be, but that's something that I would like to do more in order to be able to eat nutritious meals and just have things ready to go on hand that I can just warm up instead of having to cook a whole meal when I'm really tired. And number 18 is to avoid food waste. I feel like I have a lot of health food categories in this video, but yeah, I just want to avoid food waste. Recently, I have been purchasing more frozen vegetables just because I'm typically someone that purchases fresh vegetables and then uses maybe some of it, but it's really hard for me to finish everything before it goes bad. Purchasing frozen versus fresh has been really helpful, and I think I want to continue that just to avoid food waste. We've also been getting like fresh spinach and then freezing some of it because we like to use that frozen spinach for like smoothies, and then the fresh spinach we use for salads and things like that. So that's been really helpful. So I just want to continue doing that and get better at it just to reduce food waste. And number 19 is to play more tennis. I actually really enjoy playing tennis just for fun, not like competitive or anything like that, but I want to do that more maybe when the spring and summertime comes, and I think that could be another fun way of getting outside and getting exercise, like on the days I don't feel like going to the gym. I do have, you know, tennis rackets and my tennis balls, so I just want to use those more this year. I feel like last year I did play a couple times, but not as much as I would have liked. So I really want to do that more this year. And number 20 is to cut back on social media use. I feel like this is always a goal of mine. I did quit social media for several months, and that was really helpful. And then, you know, I started using it again, and slowly I started feeling like more and more addicted to it very quickly again. So that's something I really just want to cut back on and be more intentional about this year. I think it's going to be really helpful to have all these other hobbies and things I can do instead. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but I am really going to try to use social media way less than I currently have been. And number 21 is to create more content than I consume. So this, you know, ties right along to cutting back on social media use. I still want to use social media because I do enjoy it, especially YouTube, specifically YouTube. I also love watching YouTube. So I think that's something I want to also cut back on and just focus on creating more rather than consuming. I feel like this will be really beneficial for my mental health and also save me tons of time. And number 22 is more of a financial goal, and that is to pay off my car loan. It's actually the only form of debt that my husband and I currently have. So it's actually almost paid off. I think we can really do it like within the next 3 months or so. And once we do that, we'll be officially completely debt free, which is so amazing. The interest on it is pretty low. It's like right on the cusp. So I think that's why we kind of didn't prioritize paying it off sooner. But just because it is the last thing left, I just want to get it over with and be completely debt free. I think that will be really cool. And number 23 is to journal more. I used to journal when I was like in early college, and I think I forgot how beneficial it was to just get thoughts from my head onto paper, and I really just want to start doing that more. And number 24 is to continue regularly decluttering as needed, but also being more careful when decluttering, just because in the past I've been someone who goes a little gung-ho when decluttering, and I actually get rid of things that I later regret getting rid of, and then I end up having to replace those items in the future. So now I'm spending more money and more time and energy and effort in this whole process. So I think I just really want to appreciate my things and use them before just saying goodbye to them. Specifically, like with my clothes, I think I went through a time where it's like it felt like I had nothing, and I had to replace a lot of things in my wardrobe because I had gotten rid of so much, and I really want to avoid doing that again in 2025. I think right now, I don't really have any clothing items that I want to get rid of, but I also don't really have the need to add to my closet either. So like I said in my low buy or prepping for a low buy video, I'm not going to be buying new clothing items unless I actually need to replace something, like if something has a hole or is completely worn out, then of course I will be replacing that item. And number 25 is actually one that I think we should all strive for, and although it's kind of hard most times, and that is to try to not stress over things you can't control or that I can't control. So this is something that I really want to work on this year, just because I'm someone that is easily stressed. I can try to find things to control when I feel like my life is out of control. So I just want to be more chill this year. Obviously still plan for things, but not be upset if they don't happen, and just not stress about the things that are completely out of my control. So that was it for today's video. Those were 25 things or 25 goals that I have for 2025. Let me know if any of these inspired you, or if there's things on your list or goals on your list that I didn't mention in this video. Please share them down below in the comments for inspiration, and I hope you had a wonderful 2024, and I hope that 2025 has great things in store for you and that you're able to meet your goals. If you don't, that's totally normal. You know, everyone makes goals that they end up not following through with. Don't be too hard on yourself either. It's all about making progress and just keep moving. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.